A very happy afternoon to one and all connected here through this Google Meet for an FBP on successful writing of a research paper in Scopus UGC CARE listed journals, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Kamadhenu Arts and Science College, Satyamangalam, Erode District. I take this great opportunity to welcome you all for this Google Meet. First of all, I would like to welcome the resource person, Dr. R. Shanti, Associate Professor, Department of Management, Kamadhenu Arts and Science College, Satyamangalam. Welcome you, ma'am, for being here and be ready to share your experience and knowledge in presentation of papers in Scopus. Welcome you, ma'am. I also welcome the managing persons represented by our respected Secretary Ma'am, Ms. P. Arundhati, and Joint Secretary Ma'am, Ms. P. Malasilvi, for this program and being with us and continuously supporting in all our endeavors. Welcome you, ma'am. And also, I welcome the various HODs of departments of our institution and faculty members of various departments of our institution being presented here and which are and who are ready to expand their knowledge in paper presentation. Once again, a warm welcome you all. Welcome to you all. And also, I take this great opportunity to introduce our eminent resource person to the gathering, who is none other than Dr. R. Shanti Madam, Associate Professor from the Department of Management. She is very good in communication, first of all, which is very much necessity in the lecturer field. So, such an eminent resource person we are having here, and she has produced many scholars in PhD and MPhil, and she has presented both journals, national and international, and she has authored 2 books like Principles of Management, Human Resource Management, and she has authored. So I think we are having a very right person for this program. So I request Dr. Raj Shanti Madam to take over the session. Over to you, ma'am. Shanti, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your short introduction. So before let me start my presentation, I would like to thank the management of Kamadhenu Arts and Science College, which has given me an opportunity to share whatever I know to this faculty community. So let me go for I just don't want to waste my time because the topic which has been given to me, it is very vast. And I don't know whether I'll be able to deliver whatever I have planned within that time. So let me start my presentation. Is my presentation visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So the topic which has been given to me is successful writing of a research paper in Scopus, UGC CARE listed journals. So this topic, this is the need of the heart because we know that research now plays a vital role, and after this knack has come, each and every one of us, we are running behind quality, and one of the important mandate is this research. So I hope this is the right topic at the right time. So before going in depth into this, first let us have an insight. What is a journal? So journal, it is a document which contains source of knowledge and which is very accurate and which will tell how much knowledge a researcher has in his domain or in his discipline. And this publishing of a journal, it acts as a disseminating, that is, it acts as a it passes knowledge from the researcher to the peers. Next, let's have a small introduction about Scopus. So many of us, we know, we are very well aware of, once again, of many databases are there. Since I have been given this Scopus. So I didn't concentrate much on other database, but still we have Elsevier, we have IEEE, we have Social Science Research Network, Springer, Emerald Insights, ProQuest, Sage, Thomson Reuters, ResearchGate, etc. So these are some of the database where you can find lot of journals, right? Out of that, Scopus. See, many we know that Scopus, it is also a database where we can find scientific journals. Books are also available, and they have conference proceedings also. And this Science Direct, it is a platform of Scopus only, which provides all the journals, books, conference proceedings. So it comes under Scopus only. And this Scopus, it publishes papers of various disciplines and domains like science, technology, medicine, social science, arts and humanities, etc. So we know as research has become increasingly global, and why and interdisciplinary research are being carried out, and collaborative research between various countries are also carried out, and it plays a vital role as far as academics is also concerned. Like in an when we talk about this publishing industry, it is an ocean of industry. Publishing industry, it's like an ocean, because more than 6,000 journal publishers are there, and around 45,000 peer-reviewed journals are being published every year, and 3 million articles are published every year, and 4 billion new authors are also coming into this picture every year. So, like it's a very good positive sign as far as research is concerned. Like many of the people are coming into research, they're concentrating on research, so it's very good sign. But again, something is challenging. What is challenging is finding a good research article. That is again challenging. So like for doing any research, we need to go through the review of literature. So until and unless you go through review of literature, nevertheless you can do a research, which means that you need to read more and more articles, right? You need to search all the relevant, all the authentic information which is related to your topic. So finding a quality journal, it is very much difficult, that because many times, see, we have seen, it's my practical experience, like I have struggled many times to find a quality journal where I can publish. Even I have published in a cloned journal also. So you might be knowing, see, the topic which has been given to me is UGC care listed journals also. See, previously UGC care list journals, they were having A, B, C, D, which later came into UGC 1 and 2, right? And this UGC 1, it contains all the journals which are qualified as per the protocol of University Grants Commissions, New Delhi. And as far as this UGC 2 listed journals, they are globally indexed databases like this Scopus, IEEE, Science Direct, Thomson Reuters, all these, they'll come under this globally indexed database. And under UGC, some of the journals which are being offered from by various universities, like this Savitribai Phule University, Pune, they are into, even Kalasilingam University in Tamil Nadu, they have one journal which is being listed in UGC 1. Like they have qualified based on their own protocols. Okay. So based on this review of literature, only we can select any topic, we can find out the tools which will be relevant to our study, what is our interest of study, everything. Until and unless you do review of literature, you will be zero in research. So how you can find a quality journal, which is a big challenge. And at the same time, see, everyone is tempted to publish their journal in a very good journal, quality journal, which is having some very good impact factor or site score or SNIP or SJR, right? But 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 we should think that, like, we know, see, we should not be overconfident. We know about ourselves, so we need to publish a paper in a journal which is according to our paper quality, right? Otherwise, every time the paper will get rejected, and it will take a huge time for the paper to publish, right? Now, there are three persons behind a journal, right? There are three persons: the publisher, like the person who is going to publish the journal, the editor, and the peer reviewer. Say, local journals, like generally what we used to do, no, we used to pay 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and we used to publish a paper, right? Those journals, what they do, they don't have any peer reviewer, right? They don't have any peer reviewer. What the editor will do, he will publish the paper by himself. So there comes the problem. There we lack the quality, right? So what I'm insisting is, so you should publish in a paper which is peer reviewed, right? So we have, see, lot of information is available around us. We have ocean of data around us. So we need to know which review or which data is relevant or authentic or will be helpful for our research, right? So what we can do is we can apply some logic steps. So what we do, we can go to www.google.com. What we will do, I'll just give a keyword, service quality, right? Then what it will do, it will give all the related articles which are related to service quality. So there comes information. So the data which was available around me, the crores and crores, the ocean of data, now it got filtered, and now I got information. So with the help of some filter, which is the keyword, or with the help of some logic which I applied, the data converted into information. Now, this information cannot be accepted by all, and this information cannot be cited until and unless it is peer reviewed. So the next process is peer review. So once this information passes to the peer reviewer, after this peer review, the information converts as knowledge. It changes into knowledge, which after applying, after developing, after translating, see, whatever knowledge we are having, research knowledge, that we will apply, and which will later translate into a good paper, right? So that insight, see, that those insights will lead to a pathway, will lead to some new invention, will lead to some new findings, which after some experience will be converted into wisdom. So this is how the data converts into wisdom, right? In this presentation, two keywords are very, very important, which is this information and this knowledge, right? These two. And they are demarcated by a small line called peer review. So here place the research, right? Now let us move on to the next slide. Okay. So I said choosing a right article or choosing a right journal, it is a very big headache, right? So each and every journal, for example, the databases like if it is Elsevier, if it is Thomson Reuters, or if it is Science Direct, whatever it may be, they have something called as Journal Finder, which will provide all details relevant to the journals, right? It will give all details. Say, for example, I'll just show you the, sorry. Okay, so this is when you click this journalfinder.elsevier.com, when you get into that website, automatically this is the window which it will show. It will ask your paper title, it will ask your abstract keywords, the field of research, that is the domain of your research, and it will ask refine your search also. Whether, see, field of research, I'll give management. Then while refining my research, I will give whether it belongs to marketing, HR, or it belongs to systems, it belongs to operation, whatever it is. So simply we have to insert our title, abstract, and after that it will suggest these are the journals where you can, which is relevant or which is suitable for your manuscript. So this manuscript, your manuscript or your research paper can be published in the following journals, right? It will also tell, or it will also provide the information regarding the editorial times, like how much time it will be with the editor, what is the acceptance rate or rejection rate, how, then whether it is open access or not. All these information the journal finder will provide. And all the database, they have their own journal finder. Okay, so this is a flow chart of how the article moves from the author to the reviewer and get back to the editor, right? Actually, this is new to us because previous previously what we used to do, directly we will submit the paper to the editor, that editor will accept, and he will publish the paper, right? So for us, these steps are very new to us. See, the author, it starts from the author. The author submits a paper, right? Then it moves, this paper moves to the editor. See, the editor will check whether all the basic requirements are met or not. If it is not met, he will reject then and there itself. If it accepts all its requirements, then he will assign reviewers. See, the rejection which happens at the editor, that is the editorial board itself, it is called as desk rejection. What is desk rejection? It doesn't move to the reviewer at all. The editor itself, he has rejected that this particular paper is not of worth, right? In case, if all the basic requirements are met, then what the editor will do? He will assign reviewers. See, each and every paper will have editors, sub-editors, right? And they will have in their list certain reviewers, right? Who are these reviewers? These reviewers are the peer reviewers. So sometimes some of the journals, what they do, they will ask reviewers from the researcher itself. They'll ask reviewers list from the researcher, because many a times, see, the peer reviewer or the reviewer, they are also busy with their own research. So once a paper is being sent from editorial board to the reviewers, it may take, so, 3 months, 6 months. The paper will be held up there itself with the reviewer. So because of that only, some of the journals, the editor will ask a list of reviewers, and out of those lists, like he will ask the panel, and he will choose one or two panel, and he will send the paper for review. Now the next step is the reviewer, he will review the paper and he will give recommendation. He will give recommendation. Now what the editor will do, he will collect the reviewer's recommendation. So again, there is a chance of rejection here also. If the reviewer thinks that this paper needs to be rejected, he will reject the paper. Otherwise, the reviewer may say, okay, fine, the paper is good and it can be accepted for publication. And sometimes it happens nowadays, most of the time it happens that the reviewer, what he will do, he will make like a, since now research every now and then the technology, everything is changing, and we are moving towards this ICT world. The reviewer wants some innovative ideas, not the old, right? Outdated. So what he may ask the author to make few corrections. So after those corrections are carried out, the paper may be accepted and the paper will be published. So there are chances that after the reviewer has given his comments, the paper will get published, or otherwise after some revisions. It is not necessary or mandatory that there must be only one revision. There are chances of 3-4 revisions also, and there are chances once the paper is being sent for publication. I'll just give you an example. I published a paper where it took around 3 years to publish. I think you might be knowing Finance India. It is a journal which is being published by Indian Institute of Finance. I sent a paper. The paper was accepted for publication. It took some 3-4 months for acceptance, but it took 2 to 3 years for publication. So this happens with few journals. Okay. Now we should know what the editor wants, what he's expecting, right? He wants our paper should be scientifically correct. It should not be a manipulated one. Say many times what we do, according to the our expectation, we expect a result, and based on that result, we manipulate the data, right? But that should not happen, right? So what the editor wants, the editor, he wants a correct, like scientifically correct paper, and it should report something new, right? It should not give all the information which are outdated, and the results or the reports which he has given, he or she has given, should be significant. Otherwise, what is the use of that particular report, right? And it should create an interest among the readers. See, why we do research, why we are publishing a paper, it is to disseminate the knowledge towards the society, to the peers, right? We are giving some information, we are passing the knowledge towards the society, towards the peers, towards the researchers, okay? So that is the purpose of research. Otherwise, if I invent or if I find out something, if I don't disclose that, then what is the use of that, right? Okay. So what are the reasons why there is a rejection by an editor? Why the editor rejects? See, unless and until we come to know what an editor is expecting, why he is rejecting, then we won't be able to prepare a good manuscript, right? So the topic should be trending. It should impact the society. It should impact the researchers. It should impact the readers, right? So it should be in such a way. Next is the abstract. See, this abstract, it is a gist. It will provide what is there in your paper. So many times researchers, if they write poor abstract or there may be language errors, then definitely it will get rejected. Then irrelevant self-cites. What is self-cite? See, we know citation. What is citation? See, I have published a paper, right, on service quality, and somebody else is also doing a paper in service quality. So what they will tell, so and so, Shanti, in 2020, she have found out that service quality is influencing the customer satisfaction. So they will cite my article. So that is citation. But many of the researchers, what they do for increasing their H index, What they do? They go for self-citation. What is self-citation? Say, I'm writing an article in the review of literature. I will cite my own articles, right? I'll cite my own articles, and that is self-citation. It's not a good practice, right? It's not a good practice. So people should avoid that. But many of the researchers, they are doing that so that their H index will shoot up, right? Okay.
Ma'am, so if someone says if they have like 185 plus citations, will we be able to find it out like whether how many of them are like self citations?
Yeah, definitely they will, ma'am. Actually, this happens, ma'am. This has happened. Many cases are going on. Even some of the top researchers, I think a researcher from London, from Britain, he was caught for this and he was punished also. And
Okay.
many of his research papers, like they were not accepted, and they were removed from that Scopus list also.
Okay, okay, ma'am. But it is not like at one point we cannot go and find. Just like that we cannot find it, right?
No, just like that, ma'am, we can find out, because if I go through a paper, a research paper in the review of literature, see, the author will be there initially. After the title, the corresponding author will be there. The author will be
Okay.
there. And in the review of literature, that section, again, we will see the same author has cited. And even that will reflect in the reference also. So
Okay,
we can
ma'am.
find out.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Once we go through that article completely, we can find out.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank
And
you.
poor geographical distribution of citations. This means many a times what we do, if I do a research, what I'll do, I'll cite all the articles which belong to Indians. This should not happen. So the citation, whatever review of literature you are collecting, it should be across geographical areas. It should cover all the areas of the world. It should cover all the, like, majority of the countries. That citation will be accepted. And definitely, the editor will expect even the older articles at the same time with the recent articles. He will check whether the older articles and the recent articles have been cited or not. And saying that reason, there are chances for from the editor's side to reject that article also. And definitely, the editor will expect that that particular article, it should have cited the top journals like Elsevier, Science Direct journals, and leading scientists also, like our Rao, Dr. Rao from chemistry discipline from India, like that, some leading scientists, their paper should also have been cited. Now let us see what are the content of a research paper. So a research paper, it starts with abstract, and in the abstract, the content should be there. What are the content that should reflect in abstract is the purpose of the paper, that is the aim or the objective of the paper, the methodology. Methodology is nothing but the methods used. As far as science stream is concerned, they will go for methods, and as far as social science stream is concerned, they will go for methodology. Findings, what are the implications, practical implications, at the same time social implications, and the originality of the paper also. I'll just show you one example of a paper. One second. I hope this paper is visible to all. There is a PDF. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, is visible.
Okay, a paper which has been published in Elsevier, and the journal name is Journal of Molecular Liquids. So this is the title, this detailed analysis of induced smectic phases and paramorphic effect. This is the title. And here are the authors. There are 4 authors. And this is the affiliation address. After the author's name, the affiliation address is there. So here we have corresponding author. So Subhashri, she is the first author, and Dr. B.N. Vijay Kumar, he is the last author and also the corresponding author. So then comes the, see, all the informations are given in the article. See, this article was received in 7th May 2020, right? After revision, again it was received on 26th July 2020. Then it was accepted on 15th August and it was published in online on 16th August 2020. And these are the keywords. These are the keywords. See, always we should be very careful in writing these keywords because these keywords, they act as a filter for others. It will be very helpful for others to search, to locate this particular article. If somebody is doing an article in liquid crystals, so they can give this McT phase, or they can use this instrument, POM, and this calorimetry. These are instruments. DFT study, this is also an instrument. So based on these keywords, we can locate a paper. And here comes the abstract, right? Next comes the introduction. Here it is given, the corresponding author. His V.N. Vijay Kumar is the corresponding author. And next comes the materials and methods. See, in the introduction session, in this section, you will give a clear picture, the conceptual. This is, you will elaborate the concept, right? It is like analysis of this smectic phase or paramorphic effect of hydrogen bonded ferroelectric liquid crystals. So here they will tell about the conceptual development, right? What they are trying to do, that. And here in materials and methods, what is the route of synthesis, what are the methods by which process they have synthesized, and what are the experiments which they have used for synthesis. All these things will come under the materials and methods. After that, we will have result and discussion. See here, all the results will be discussed, whatever is their finding, that based on the findings, they will give some discussions, right? And in results and discussions, only the tables, the figures, the plots, all these things will come. Okay. Yeah, here comes the conclusion. After results and discussion, here comes the conclusion where what is the message? What is the central message which you want to pass to the society, to the research community? That should come here, the conclusion part, right? After that, acknowledgement. See, there may be many people who would have helped you either in proofreading, or they would have done some financial support, or they have provided some raw material, some salt, something like that, some instruments. So you can acknowledge those people in this column. After acknowledgement, reference is there. So this is the structure of a paper, right? We will see one by one. As far as social science is concerned, we will go for this hypothesis also. It is like a statement of assumption. Otherwise, everything will be same. Then in this, actually, this is the standard one. What we have seen, this is a standard structure for a journal, but it varies from one research database to another research database. It varies. So if like Science Direct or Thomson Reuters or any other research database, their guidelines for authors may be different from one database to another. So once you have gone for review of literature, see, For each and every domain, the review of literature, the database where you can collect review of literature, it will change. For example, if you are if you want to collect data which is relevant to finance, then you can collect the data from CMIE, or else you can collect from moneycontrol.com. Like that, there are some few websites. Otherwise, what you can do is, most of the scholars, the authentic way of collecting the data is either you can approach some universities or big colleges which have their own database like EBSCO, OPAQ, right? Even in Coimbatore, we have a PSG, and even Bardiyar University, we have these two database. Otherwise, what you can do is you can surf Google Scholar. So it is the Google Scholar. It is a very good database, especially for researcher. So researchers definitely, for collecting review of literature, you need to go to Google Scholar. And once you type your keyword in Google Scholar, it will show lot of articles. But there is a drawback, there is a
Excuse me.
limitation with this Google Scholar. What is the
Excuse me,
limitation
ma'am.
is, it will not show all the full article. It will not show full articles. See, some of the articles may be open access. So those articles, you can download the whole PDF. And some of the articles, they may be pay version. So in that case, we are supposed to pay some dollars to download that article. But again, there is a loophole. There is a way, right? But though it is I should not tell that, because it's somewhat illegal, because there are pay journals. But what you can do is, in the Google Scholar, each and every article will have a DOI number. So you can copy the DOI number, or you can copy that title and you can paste. You need to go to SkyHub, SCIHUB, SkyHub. You go to SkyHub, type in Google SkyHub, and you need to paste either the DOI number or else you need to paste the title. Now you will get the full article. So this is a way by which even you can download the articles which are pay version, right? So this is a way by which you can go collect review of literature, and there are chances, right? This is a way. And some of the journals, now it is many of the journals, they are providing us open access because of this pandemic situations. Free access to all the pay version journals is also there. So you can access, except some few top journals like Nature, where you have a very good and high impact factor like that. Otherwise, we can access all the journals. And so this is the content of the paper. I'll be explaining each and every one in the forthcoming slides. Okay, now what makes a good paper? The good ideas, creative ideas, innovative ideas, something interesting, something demanding. So something which is existing, the problem which is existing right now, those topics you can choose for your paper. And you need to give a good introduction, and you need to develop hypothesis which is relevant to your study, and you need to carry out a research methodology which is apt to your research, and it should fulfill your objectives. Go for a good literature review and provide a critical and logical reasoning and referencing. Many a times there is a problem with referencing. There are some standard referencing. So each and every journal, they have their own style of referencing, right? They may ask for APA style of referencing or IEEE. So whatever, everything will be given in the guideline for authors. So each and every author, what they should do, they should read at least twice or thrice. They should go to the guidelines of authors. And in the guidelines of authors, the very first heading will be aims and scopes. It will tell what is the expectation of that particular journal. So please go through that. Simply don't write your research paper and don't send it to journal. First, try to find out what that particular journal is expecting, then start writing according to their expectation. Then avoid plagiarism. So this is a major problem nowadays in research, and many of the paper get rejected because of flaws and limitations. So try to write a paper which is of good quality. Next comes peer reviewed. See, peer reviewed is nothing but your piece of work will be reviewed by panel of experts. That is peer reviewed. Why it is being done? Because to find out the reliability of your paper, this peer review process is being done. Okay, so before you write an article, you need to think as a reader, not as a writer. Because many times when you write, you forget, you deviate what you are supposed to do. So before you write any paper, just
Shanti ma'am,
think yourself
Shanti
as a
ma'am, I
reader.
have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, like, how do you detect the plagiarism actually?
Ma'am, they have their own softwares, ma'am, like Turnitin. So Turnitin is like Bardiya University, they have this Urkun software, ma'am. Anna University, they have Turnitin. So Turnitin is a software which is being universally accepted by many of the universities, ma'am.
Okay,
So
before
there are
even
soft.
like, is it an open source app
No,
or how
it's
is
not
it?
an open source, ma'am. It is paid software.
Okay.
There are there are open softwares also, but it will not give correct result, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Then, like, suppose you have scholars, right? Like, if they have like some plagiarism, like as a guide, how would you find it out?
No, actually, the thing is, first, we never, what we do is, we will try our level best to write a original paper. But if still there comes a plagiarism, we will first check in the university, because if I check with the help of Urkun software, which is being used
Okay.
by this university also, there it will show 100% plagiarism. So
Okay.
generally, this happens because the university library, once this happened with me also, what I did, I used one software, and then it came, here it came around 20%, something like that. So it was below 30%. What I did, okay, anyhow, it's below 20%. So I have sent the scholar for a plagiarism check. What he did, there it showed 100%.
Oh,
Then
okay.
the
How?
university librarian, he scolded, like, we are here to check plagiarism. So why your guide or supervisor, she checked the plagiarism. So this happened with me, ma'am. But
So we are not supposed to check the plagiarism here, right?
ma'am, this is the case of Bardiyar University. But what Anna University is saying to the scholars, first you check then and there itself. You check
Okay.
with the help of Turnitin, you check your plagiarism. Then you try to sort out that problem. If it crosses more than 10%, you try to reduce that plagiarism. Then you bring your thesis to Anna University. He's giving
Okay.
that option.
They charge in university for plagiarism checking?
No, ma'am, no. It's free of cost.
But we have to go in person, or will they do it online, like if we send it?
Like, ma'am, in this pandemic situation, we have sent through online also, ma'am, to the librarian. Yeah. But before that, we have to go in person, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, I am looking for this one. Do you remember the Pearson Library, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That we have stopped it because Prakash sir from BComCA department, he referred that online library access,
Okay.
but we dropped it because that particular portal doesn't have the books which is the reference books or the textbooks of the Bardar University.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And but now we are now I am looking for another one similar to that called Nimbus,
Okay.
KNIMBUS. Like, have you
Yes,
heard
yes.
of it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You heard of it?
Yeah, yeah, I have heard of it, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. They have something called integrated plagiarism detection. Like, does that, like, we if we are going to buy that, does that going to help our scholars in any
No, ma'am.
ways?
No, ma'am. Actually, the thing
Okay.
is, many times what it happens, ma'am, when we go for plagiarism through any software, there
Hmm.
are chances of stealing the data, ma'am. That is the
Hmm.
main problem, ma'am. So it's
Okay.
better we should directly go to the university.
Mm,
That
mm,
would be
mm.
better, ma'am.
Okay, you are telling they will take our content and they will keep
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, that is there, ma'am. Because this is the original research content which has not been published anywhere, ma'am.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
So this is how many of the softwares, plagiarism softwares, they claim that free of cost, we will do this and that, ma'am. But what they are doing, they are stealing the data, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shall I proceed, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Okay. And the work should be original, and you just before writing an article, just try to form a central message. Just prepare a central message and think how novel is your work. Just try to find out the novelty of your work and pitch your research uh, within 1 minute to someone, because then only your research will be a crisp, just one. Otherwise, you will not be able to tell what you have done, right? And there are the manuscript may be of different types. For example, it may be a research paper, it may be a review paper. So according to the requirement of the journal, because some of the journal they may expect only research paper, and some journals they will accept both the research paper and review papers also. And you should know who is your audience. So according to your audience, you should try to write a paper. So choose the right journal with the help of like a journal finder, which is available with all the journals, and read author guidelines. Because if you don't read author guidelines, the more will be the chances of rejection of your article. Okay, so in the author guidelines, they will give the layout, how the text layout it should be. It should be single column or double column. So how you should cite your paper. For example, we saw the paper, no? See how it should be cited. Here, see at the top, page number P. Dot Shubhashree et al. Et al means if there are more than two authors, we should write et al. So P. Subhashree et al. This is the citation. This is how you have to cite. Slash Journal of Molecular Liquids. This is the citation. This is how you have to cite. Okay. Now, in the guidelines of authors, they will tell what font style you should use, should be the font size, and how naming should be given for the title of table, figures, everything should be, because it will save both the time of the writer, that is the researcher, and also the editor. right? See, the editor will not have much time. Within a few minutes, he will accept our paper or he will reject our paper. He has a lot of other work. So if you waste their time, definitely they'll reject the paper. Okay, so this is the structure of an article. An article starts with title and it ends with reference. So developing a manuscript, I said we should think before writing. So we should think as a reader. Our work should be, it should be novel, like that. Choose the right journal and article type. So in the guidelines for authors, everything is there. How each and every section should be presented, what is the layout, what is the word limit, how referencing should be there, what should be the formatting, how the numbering for figures and tables should be done. Everything will be there. Now, use the right process to review, use the right process to write a paper. So this again, it will be given there itself in the guidelines to author. And next is language. Language plays a vital role, and use the right process to write a paper. Here what you should do is always collect all the elements which are related to a paper in a folder, right? Don't every time just search from this folder to that folder, this drive to that drive, like that. Each and every element of the paper you should collect and keep it at one place in one folder, and try to find out, just make a draft, just go for outline, right? And keep all plots, figures, table, images, everything, and just the summarized findings and all the references, everything you should keep in one place. And as far as language is concerned, this language, it should be short and it should be direct. And we need to avoid multiple statements. Many a times, what we do is there will be redundant phrases. Like continuously, we will use those phrases. And you need to use one single word instead of many phrases, because many people will be using that phrases, and continuously if there comes three words in a similar way, then there are chances of plagiarism. Like I'll just show. See, here is that. So instead of a number of, you can use several, a small number of, like this. You can use these words, single words, instead of these phrases, because in the phrase there will be 3 or 4 words. If the other authors they are also using, then there are chances of plagiarism. So the sentence, in each and every sentence, this sentence should contain 12 to 17 words. Many times what we do, we frame or we formulate a sentence which contains some more than 3-4 lines, one paragraph, like that it will be. So it should not be like that. A sentence should be framed within 12 to 17 words. And we should use present tense for the fact and also for framing hypothesis. For framing hypothesis and for the facts, we need to use present tense. And in case of conducted experiments and results, in that case, we can go for past tense. Okay, next is ensure paper is up to date. So it should be up to date, novelty should be there, and use the correct article structure. So what is correct article structure? See, we saw, now we will see again. See, this is the correct article structure. First title should be there, then abstract, then introduction, then body of the paper, then discussion, and finally reference. So now let us see again next is this article structure. This is the article structure. And the 7th one is be prepared for common questions of reviewers. See, it's not mandatory that once you have submitted your paper, the editor will immediately accept, or the reviewer will accept your paper. He will raise lot of queries. So you should be prepared to answer all those queries, right? Now let us see. This is the standard journal article structure. Here comes the abstract. So always the abstract is the mini version of the paper, right? It should contain 200 to 250 words. And when we talk about the title of the paper, it should be concise and informative. The title of the paper, right? So first comes the title, which should be it should be 18 to 15 words. After that, and the title should attract the readers. See, once if you see the title, immediately it should attract the readers to read the whole paper. In such a way, the title should be attractive, it should be concise and informative. Then comes the author. So the authors will be first author, or it may be corresponding authors or co-authors. Then we will have abstract. So this abstract is the mini version of the paper, and it refers to the work done in the past, and it will give the information regarding what is the aim of that particular paper, then what are the tools or what are the equipments that are used, and it will also tell how the problem was studied, what are the materials which were used, and next is the principal results and discussion, and then comes the conclusions, right? So in the abstract, initially it should start with the aim, what is the work done, what is the objective, then methods, what are the important results, and what is the important conclusion. Okay. Next, introduction. So this introduction, it can have words between 500 to 1000. And this introduction, it should tell why that work has been done and why that work is useful. So what is the problem and what are the solution for the problem? And there may be many solutions. Which is the best solution for that problem, right? So this part, it should tell in what way your work is useful to the society, right? Why the reviewer or the editor, he should accept your article, right? Okay. Next comes the review of literature. In review of literature, we need to study the latest study, at the same time old study also, and based on the directions for further research, we can proceed, we can select the title, and we can divide the review of literature as national reviews, international reviews, reviews which are related to that particular industry. For example, if I have done a research in, we can say OCR, or satisfaction, job satisfaction, then that I would have done in textile industry. But the same might have been conducted in other industries also, like it may be mobile sector, it may be any other sectors also they would have carried out. So studies which are pertaining to that particular sector, studies which are pertaining or related to other sectors, so that can also be given. So different sections, see, studies which are of national importance, studies which are international importance, studies which are related to that particular industry, and studies which are related to other industries but pertaining to that particular topic. Okay. Now, materials and methods. Here, this section, we need to write from 500 to 1000 words. Here, as far as social science is concerned, we will provide details about sampling, what are the sampling techniques, what are the size of the sampling, how you have calculated that sample size, how you have arrived at sample size, what are the tools which you have, sorry, what are the data collection tools, Then how you have measured with the help of interview schedule or questionnaire. If it is questionnaire, whether you have used standardized items or you have developed your own questionnaire, all these things. And in case of social science, you need to tell which equipment you have used, what are the material that you have used. Everything will come under this section. And what is the process which you have carried out, everything will come under this section. Next comes the results. So results and discussion. Here, whatever you have found, that will come over here. And why it is important, that also you need to justify, and you need to include all the data, figures, tables, everything will come here. All the things will come under this section. All the analysis, whatever you have done, whatever is your observation, everything will come under, all the calculations, everything will come under this section. Okay, then comes your discussion. Most of the time this discussion and result, it will come as a same section many a times, but in few journals this result, see, whatever you have found, that will come under result, and you will discuss all those results in the discussion section, right? If, say, here you will find out like the p-value is less than 0.05 in the result, and here you will discuss, since the p-value is less than, the probability value is less than 0.05, we have rejected null hypothesis. Hence, there is a significant difference between this OCB, that is organization and citizenship behavior, and customer satisfaction. Like that, we will correlate whatever result we have got, that need to be correlated with the hypothesis. Okay, then comes the conclusion. So in this area or in this section, what we will do is, we need to tell how our study has advanced this field. So here we will summarize all our findings, and we need to tell that how we need to justify our work. And this conclusion, it should be short and clear. We need to justify our work here with supporting evidence. Like in my case, service quality leads to customer loyalty, which has already been accepted, or which has already been supported by a study done by Cronin et al. In 1993. Like that, you have to provide supporting evidence also. After that, acknowledgement. So acknowledgement is nothing but thanking people who have contributed to the research. So as I already said, there may be some advisors, there may be some financial supporters, and the suppliers, proofreaders. As far as I'll just show, I think in this article also some acknowledgement was given. The author V.N. Vijay Kumar acknowledges the financial support rendered by Department of Science and Technology. So this Department of Science and Technology, it has supported him with the help of fund. So because of that, I think this author, he might have purchased some materials and all, and he might have used those materials for the research. He might have purchased some equipments, something like that. So that is, there comes the acknowledgement. So acknowledgement, it is very essential in case if people, they have supported in creating this research paper. So we are supposed to acknowledge. Okay, fine. Now, but we need to get permission. Before we acknowledge, we need to get permission from them that can we acknowledge you in our studies, in our research paper. So you need to get permission. Next comes the reference. So in case of reference, styling is very, very important. So whatever styling the editor is expecting, the journal is expecting, it should be in that style only. Then we need to avoid self-citations. And this is because why people go for self-citations? Because it will give credit to their previous published work, right? For the case of, for the sake of creditability, only people go for self-citation, but it is not a good practice. And at the same time, we should avoid citation from the same region also. So we need to provide citation across geographic area. And this reference, it will help further readers for going through various review of literature, for finding out the article which are related to their domain. It will help other researchers also. Okay, this is grammar. So whatever we are writing, it should be good grammar. There should not be any spelling mistake, and punctuation mark should be perfect. So these are few database which I have already shown you. Okay. So before going, let me conclude my this presentation. I would like to give few more details. See, generally, we can find out. See, we said that it's challenging to find out whether the journal is of good quality or not. So, based on some metrics, we go for whether that particular journal is of good quality or not. We can find out with the help of some metrics. So based on some impact factor or site score, or that SNIP, that is source normalized impact per paper, or SJR, Schimago journal ranking, we can find out whether that particular journal is of good quality or not. But many a times, what happens, again, running behind this metrics, it's itself a problem. Why? People are going for self-citation. So whatever the scores are there, that the impact factor scores are there, again, there is a false score only. So when we talk about impact factor, it tells about the quality of journal. When we talk about H index, then it tells about the quality of the author or the quality of the article, that particular article, that H index. So now people are running behind this H index, right? And generally there are two types of journals. One is subscription based, which are with institutions, and the other one is open access journals. In case of the subscription-based journals, there can be multiple download and there will not be any publication charge. But again, in case of open access journals, they are open to read, they are free. There may be some fee attached. There may be some fee. There may be some publication charge or some article public processing charge, something like that. That there may be. In case of that again, that this open access journals, they are divided into gold open access and green open access. This gold open access, we need to pay this article process, that is APC charge we need to pay. But in case of green open access, we can publish free and read free. So after some embargo period, it becomes open access. This embargo period, it will vary from one journal to another journal also. Some journals, the embargo period will be 6 months. Some journals, it may be more than 1 year also. So it varies from one journal to another journal. Okay. So now we can move on to queries. Any queries? Any queries from the audience side? Am I connected with the meeting?
Ma'am, yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Okay.
this is Rajesh, ma'am.
Okay, yes, Rajesh.
Ma'am, I have one question, ma'am. How many authors can be accepted by the journal, ma'am? I'm asking about maximum how many authors can be
Accept
accepted by the
maximum
journal?
5 authors. Many of the journals, they accept maximum 5 authors.
Okay, ma'am.
One will be the main author, one will be the corresponding author, remaining authors will be the co-authors.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Many
And
of the
also, I'm having
countries
one more doubt, ma'am.
now many of the collaborative research are going on. So in that case, in that collaborative research, so each and every author, they belong to different countries. Now, when I read few articles, I saw the authors are from different um, world. They are from different parts of the world. So in that case, many authors are there. And sometimes, if it is an organization, what happens is, for example, see, if I'm publishing a paper, what I'll do is actually it is not ethical, but this is happening. Because we know that publishing a paper in good journal, it is highly difficult, right? So in that case, what they are doing is, if I'm publishing a paper, I'll add the name of my friend. He will be the co-author. And when he is publishing a paper, he will add me as co-author. This practice is happening nowadays. It's going on. But it's not ethical, no, because one who didn't do any piece of research, his name is also there in that article, right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, one more doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
Suppose I have presented a paper in a conference, ma'am. My paper which was published in the conference proceeding, ma'am.
Yes.
Shall I submit the same paper in some other journal, ma'am?
No,
Since my work is
no.
standard,
No,
which is already published in
it's
conference
totally
proceeding,
exempted.
and now shall I submit the same paper in some other? What, ma'am?
No, it's not possible.
Okay, ma'am.
It's not
Okay,
possible.
ma'am. Okay.
See,
Since it
a
has published only
piece
in
of
conference
work which
proceedings,
has
ma'am.
been already presented somewhere and which is published in conference proceedings. See, it is already published. See, I think you
Okay.
might have read the guidelines. I think in April 2020, UGC has come up with a notification. So once you go to ugc.ac.in, in that faculty corner, if you go inside UGC approved journals, there is a notification. In April 2020, UGC has come up with a notification saying that
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
if
ma'am.
your piece of work is there, the same piece of work, if you are citing anywhere, self-citation or the same thing you are using anywhere else, it will not be considered.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
For any
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
like promotion or in case of any capacity building, in there and all, it will not be accepted. Like that, he has come up with a notification.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
See, for the budding researchers, I know many of the faculties, they are new to this college. So, like, if possible, I'll try to handle a separate session for them, because my purpose was, the topic which was given to me was like publishing a paper in Scopus or UGC listed journals. So for that sake, I have prepared this PPT, but definitely it will not solve the purpose of the new budding researcher. For them, these PPTs will not provide all the answers to their questions. What I will insist them is, you just start reading reviews, right? You just make a table. Just make a table. In the table, in one column, you write it as like methods used, then hypothesis framed, then findings, then suggestions, then tools used. Like that, you need to frame a table. So what is the primary aim? What is the primary objective? What is the method, right? And what is the tool used? What they have found. Like that, you need to build a table for reviews. What I will try, what I will advise to the new budding researcher is, you need to don't go through Indian papers. I mean, I'm not like saying all the papers, because 90% of the papers which you get from Google or somewhere else, they are cut, copy, paste only. Go for some quality papers, right? Some 20 papers, at least 20 papers you take and see. If you are proceeding to your PhD, what you should do is first select a topic and select at least 20 relevant authentic papers, either from Science Direct or from Elsevier. So they are universally accepted database. Definitely they will have quality papers, right? No doubt in that. So you need to download that, you study, then you try to build up a model, you try to build up a conceptual framework. See, you have to read. If you read quality journals, you will publish quality papers. This is the message. What I would like to tell, what is the message which I just want to give to you is, read quality papers and try to publish in quality journals. So definitely the outcome will be a quality paper.